Now call the meeting of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners to order. Please rise for a moment of silence, prayer, and the pledge of allegiance.
Today we pray for those whose health is compromised and that you will heal them. For those who have been in the path of devastation from the recent fires in Hawaii. Remember those who have lost their lives suddenly, and we will hold in our hearts the families forever, changed by grief and loss. Rest in God as the day unfolds. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of preparing accurate written minutes. Recordings are overwritten following approval of the minutes, eliminating all unofficial records of these proceedings. Our first item is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held August 3rd, 2023, noting a correction to expenditures, direct deposit check numbers 605-5561 through 605-6007. For the payroll paid to the payroll fund checking account for dated July 28th, 2023, and check numbers should be 6055561 through 6056009.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The next item is a public hearing for the 2023 ESG grant application. For consideration, an application for the 2023 ESG program to be filed with the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development on behalf of the Carbon County Action Committee for Human Services and Family Promise of Carbon County in the amount of $120,000. This hearing is being conducted to provide the public with the opportunity to comment on the county's consideration of the filing of this application. The ESG program allows local governments to apply for funding on behalf of nonprofit organizations to perform services as a subcontractor with the county. Examples of allowable services are financial assistance in the form of rapid rehousing, rental assistance, homelessness prevention, emergency shelter operations, and essential services. The county is considering the filing of the application on behalf of Carbon County Action Committee for Human Services and Family Promise of Carbon County in the amount of $120,000. The grant will be equally shared between the entities, and each must provide the 50% match. Let the record show, no comments were received by telephone or email from the public. So our first item, if you would like to recognize Kim Miller is here.
From the Carbon County Action Committee. We do have any comments at this time, Kim?
No, I think Billy pretty much covered it. Basically, our share would be for the rapid rehousing and homeless prevention, and we'd be splitting it equally between financial and rental assistance.
Are there any comments, any other comments from the public regarding the grant application? Yes, sir.
Actually, my name is Brandon Fogel. I'm actually here speaking on a different issue, but I volunteered with Family Promise on a number of occasions, and I really support them, and I think that's a really great idea.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? You get the names directly? No. Okay. Okay, thank you.
So for our next item for the ESG grant, I need a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing the filing of the application for funding. It's resolution number 23-027.
Move to adopt. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
For approval and execution, the statement of assurances for the 2023 ESG grant application.
Move to approve and execute. Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Okay, that concludes our hearing, so we'll move forward with the agenda.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Are there any guests concerning county is this business at this time? Please state your name, where you're from and your purpose. Thank you.
Still Brandon Fogel, and thanks for having us. There was actually, we thought we were on the agenda for today, so apologize for the misunderstanding. But came to give you guys an update on the progress we've been making with our resolution regarding application of sewage sludge. We are up to 19, I believe, of the 22 municipalities at this point, have signed on to supporting it. And so in terms of next steps, what we're planning on doing is going to Bethlehem and talking to them about this and seeing whether, because they're one of the large urban, users of the sewage sludge program, that we're kind of worried about the content. We're going to go talk to them, tell them what's been going on here, and see whether they'd be willing to stop giving their septic content to Synagro. Because they're one of the ones that we're concerned about the contaminants that could be in that. And again, just a reminder that the resolution is basically to take the application of sewage sludge out of the hands of, Harrisburg and put it back into the hands of municipalities as it was originally intended by the Right to Farm Act. That's about all I have to say on it at this point. Thank you for your time.
Any other guests? Sorry for the confusion, hectic when we didn't get the review or everything and didn't get it on the agenda, so. We apologize for that. So any other comments from guests?
I'm actually gonna have a comment on this too, but it was just something that was gonna be in my commissioner's report at the end. I figured it might fit into this part here. I was at the meeting the other night, the ag meeting, and this is a situation that cannot be solved by the committee, cannot be solved by the commissioners. But I feel that this resolution is very important. That the commissioners do it to send a message to the state. That the citizens of Carbon County are concerned. And we were at the conference in Erie last week. And I've talked to numerous counties throughout the state. And there's rumbles of this throughout the state. So I'm hoping that this comes out and like I said, it's I don't even know how to say this. The state has it certified that it's okay. But my opinion on what I've seen and with the farmers that I talked with there, they're really not for it. But they'd have to speak for that, and even if it's documented that it is suitable, I would say they're probably wrong. Because of the things that you see that's in it and some of the information that I've compiled, like how farms there was actually, I think, some farms that were shut down. And I think that's terrible to have a farm that would be in our area. And I'm working with the ag on trying to get different programs in here. And it would be a shame that a farm would be shut down because of this on it. And years ago, I come from a little farm and you could never put anything on the field. I know they had the documentation that it was way back, but it was never done in Carbon County that I know of. And like I said, we had a person that lived down the road from us. He was a honey dipper. That's the guy that emptied your septic tanks, and he was never allowed to put that in the fields. And now today it's allowed. And there's a lot of medication that people are taking and everything that we really don't know what's in this. So, and like I said, I'm just recommending to, and the ag board, I don't want the ag board to be the bad person in this because they're not, they have to go by the rules, and the rules are set by the state and that's how they go. Their own personal opinions do not go into this because they were put on the board to go by the rules. Maybe if you interview them separately, it might be different. But I think with us, and I'm just recommending it, and I know you're supposed to be on to speak about it, but I'm just even recommending to my fellow commissioners, like, we have to do something here. Because we're going in this land preservation and open space, and it sort of scares me about the spaces that we're gonna preserve. Is it gonna be the spaces that this is used on? And it's going to the rivers, and I don't know if anybody knows it. Water doesn't take its choice. It takes its choice where it wants to go. It doesn't sometimes go where we want it to go. And I just don't want to see any wells contaminated or anything like that. And like I said, this is a lot bigger an issue than what we are. But I think we have to send the message throughout the state that that's what's got to be done.
Yeah, absolutely. We fully recognize that currently there isn't anything you can do. And that's the issue we're tackling first, is we're trying to get recognition for the fact that it's been, local governments have been shut out of this issue. I also meant to mention that we also have the support of the local council of governments, has also decided to back the resolution that we're putting forward.
Yeah, we get all the municipalities except one or two of them.
Or, like I said, we're only missing 2 at this point, and we actually expect to get one of them shortly.
Yeah, that's a pretty good message to me anyway. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We'll be on the agenda and I look forward to that vote.
Yeah, just to provide a little context for those who may not be aware. Immediately upon receiving the request for consideration, the Board of Commissioners appropriately sent that resolution to the Ag Land Preservation Board and asked for their comment. Linda was there, plus many others who came to an Ag Land Preservation Board meeting and spoke eloquently and very informatively to the Ag Land Preservation Board. They had additional questions or sought additional information. Linda did make that available to them. They had a chance to review it. And after review at the meeting this week, they retained the position that they did not want to take a position and would continue to operate comfortably within the Right to Farm Act, which kind of gives them their left and right limits and flexibility that they have. So I think, not only did we not get it on the agenda this week, it wasn't simply because we didn't get it on the agenda. We had to wait until they had due time for consideration. And again, we had already started looking at potential modifications to it to more accurately represent a Board of Commissioners position. And it will be duly re-examined and considered.
Positive.
Yep.
Any other guests concerning county business? Okay, we have a long agenda today and a lot of things to cover. Okay. All right, we'll move on.
Okay, our next item is the proclamation, Child Support Enforcement Awareness Month. Adoption of a proclamation number 2023-008, acknowledging the month of August as Child Support Enforcement Awareness Month.
Move to adopt.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yeah, at this time, I'd like to call on Bridget Johnson, or the director in domestic relations, if she'd come forward.
You want me to read the proclamation?
You can.
Okay. Whereas this year celebrates the 48th anniversary of Title 4D Child Support Enforcement Program. And whereas the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is committed to providing for children and ensuring they are and their parents or caregivers receive the emotional, financial, medical support they deserve. And whereas Pennsylvania continues its mission to meet or exceed all federal performance standards in the establishment and enforcement of child support orders, parentage, established and cost effectiveness. Whereas Domestic Relations Office staff has worked diligently to ensure child support services continue to run efficiently despite continued staff shortages. Pennsylvania dispersed 1.08 billion to custody parents in federal fiscal year 2021 and 22. Whereas Pennsylvania collects of current support and overdue support each month continues to rank first in the country. Therefore, the Commissioners of Carbon County here recognize August 23rd as Child Support Enforcement Awareness Month in the County of Carbon and encourage all citizens to observe this month with appropriate programs and activities. Adopted the Carbon County Board of Commissioners this 17th day of August 23rd by Commissioner Wayne Notstein, Chair, Rocky Horner, Vice Chair, and Chris Lukasevich, member. Thank you very much.
I just want to say thank you again. This is an important month for us, as is every day, for the child support. The court, we want to thank them for the continued support, and staff, obviously, their hard work and dedication has proven itself as we've collected in 2022, $6.3 million in child support for children and families in Carbon and beyond. We have a lot of intergovernmental cases and interstate cases. The staff works so hard, day in and day out, so just 1 month out of the year, I want to say thank you to them, for without them, we wouldn't be able to bring in those numbers. And as far as the statistics from last year, not only did we bring in the 6.3 million, but we met our 5 incentive numbers, so we brought in over 100,000 in incentive funds as well.
Coming from second.
Maybe just to Shadow and Bridget said a huge thank you to court administration, our judges and especially our staff. It wouldn't be possible without the hard work they do to support the children of Carbon County.
Ms. Sweeney, Court Administration, do you have any comments? Okay, I have a question. What is your biggest barrier to being able to collect from the delinquent or absentee people?
I think I say every year, it's probably remains the same. Transportation is huge in the area. We have a lot of folks who struggle because they might not have a driver's license and they might not have a means of transportation to get back and forth to work. Especially if they could secure a different position in the valley or maybe Wyoming or up in Wilkes-Barre or something like that. So that is huge. And our intergovernmental cases, which we were able to add an intergovernmental officer 2 years ago already, I think it was.
Yep.
And that having that position is huge for us because the offenders or the defendants that we have in other states, we run into a problem with collection. Sometimes they take off from the area, it takes a lot of manpower to locate them. We have a lot of locate resources to do that, but then once we locate them, working with the other states, they have their own rules and regulations to enforce. It might not be the same as ours.
What does a intergovernmental officer do? If you would explain that to the public.
Sure, so that is when one of the parties lives in another state. We work closely with that other state and it can be tough because a lot of states either won't enforce or they just have different rules and regulations. So that's tough, a lot of people get upset with that. Not much we can do from our office, but we try our best.
Oh, yeah, with all due respect to the office and everything, maybe the biggest complaint I get about domestic relations is the inability or they're not getting their support payments and everything. And people just don't understand how difficult your job is or all the things you have to go through to try to get payments and intergovernmental between counties as well, not only other states, but other counties can be very challenging.
In an ideal world, everyone would be wage attached and the people anything in their employer, but it doesn't always work that way. There's a lot of cash jobs and like we talked about.
Bridget, you gave a dollar amount, but make it a little more personal. How many children are being supported by that on the ballpark figure?
It's hard to give an exact,
Yeah.
Carbon, we might have about 1,800 open support cases, so if on average 1 to 2 children get
Sure,
a case.
yeah.
We also do collect for spousal support obligations, APL, alimony. But for the children, they might have more than 1 or 2, I'm just
Sure,
on
right, yeah.
average. But we also service other areas, other counties who we might not be seeing the direct result, but we're getting money, collecting it, sending it to school or Lehigh.
And I only have one proclamation, but I'm sure I need more. And everybody, I think, in the entire department works as hard as the next one does. And I think Wayne's been on it that people don't understand what you have to go through. There's HIPAA laws, there's all kinds of things. And people think their way got to be done that way, and it isn't the way that it works. And that's where I think you get a lot of flack. And people just don't understand how this works, and we see it through all of our human service departments. And I think when it's explained to the people, they see the tremendous job that you people are doing. I mean, it's phenomenal what you do. So I want to personally thank you for that.
Thank you. And I was only able to bring 2 with me today, but that's true. The amount.
We can make 18 more comments.
Oh, you can sit or you want to-
Yeah, they can say. You commissioner for about 3 minutes.
Yourself.
You might have to go over here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, lady.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Proceed.
The next item is the opening of bids, Bergen County Homeless Facilities. Peaceful Nights Women's Shelter fiscal year 2020 CV. We have one bidder, Dave's Plumbing and Heating, Palmerton, Pennsylvania. Total amount bid, $18,000.
There is a bid bond for 10% of the bid.
I'm gonna move that we table until at least the 31st of this month. That'll give us an opportunity to re-advertise for general and electrical.
I'll second that.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich.
Yes.
Mr. Notstein.
Yes,
The report of executive sessions held.
and we one executive session held on Tuesday, August 15th, 23 at 10 a.m. for personnel reasons.
Department reports, the budget transfers.
Move to approve.
Second.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich.
Yes.
Mr. Notstein.
Yes,
Supplemental appropriations,
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor,
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich.
Yes.
Mr. Notstein.
yes,
Expenditures approval of payroll check numbers 75371 through 75453. Direct deposit number 6056010 through 6056458 for the payroll paid through the payroll fund checking account. For all county funds totaling $709,436.91. This is the payroll dated August 11th, 2023.
Move to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Approval of check numbers 237871 through 238078 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account. Only $1,183,550.74.
Motion allowed.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Approval of check numbers 238079 through 238187 for expenditures through the general fund clearing account totaling $983,680.63.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The director's report, we have two.
Move to accept.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The personnel report for county departments.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yeah.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The acknowledgements for courts and row offices.
Motion acknowledged.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. Advertising. For ratification. Authorize the advertisement of a public notice regarding the Open Space Advisory Board meeting to be held on August 17th, 2023, and the 2023-2024 future meeting dates.
Motion allowed.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Animal shelter vehicle fleet. For approval, proposal submitted by Enterprise Fleet Management of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. For one replacement vehicle under the vehicle fleet financing and maintenance of the master end. Equity lease agreement approved April 27, 2017. Agenda item 17-159 and extended on July 28, 2022. Number 20, agenda number 22-268. The vehicle monthly cost and maintenance program with a term of 60 months. For 2022. Ram ProMaster City with partition. $650.55 per month.
Move to approve.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Bid award courthouse renovations. Letters from Boyle Construction Management Incorporated dated August 11, 2023, regarding the bids received via Penn Bid for the courthouse renovation project opened on July 27, 2023, submitting recommended contract awards as follows. General Construction, one bid, CMG of East Incorporated. $1,489,900. This is the total bid without the alternate. An alternate to be considered, the total amount bid would be $1,604,700.
Motion to approve for discussion.
Yeah, and I like, I mean, you can go or, I mean, I have discussion.
We have a second?
I'll second.
A second.
Yeah, I just questioned do we have to do the alternate at this time or other staircase? Fred's landings, is it a safety issue right now? And it's not I think we need to bypass on that for now and not do the alternate. We're really close on the budget. So I would recommend that we do not include the alternate on that bid, on that motion.
And my issue with, I mean, for me, I would like to do the alternate on the other ones. Maybe we can keep that one out. That's fine with me. But I think one of these things where we had it in here, and Tony, it's I know it was recommended that the boilers would last for years, but we've been fixing them for like Larry's over there called the plumber in to fix things. And to me, I would rather do that with the alternate, that the boilers get into it.
This is just general construction. That's a different.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
I think it's important for the,
They
Oh,
could all tie together.
They
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
right. I think it's important for the public to understand, without alternates, based upon this most recent accounts payable. If you went and accepted all the bids without alternate, we would have left over our capital projects $99,165.57 without any alternate. But it's important because the public tends to have a very short memory to understand how we got where we're at, where we actually don't have enough money to do this project to the level which it needs to be done. All right, the fact is, this project could have been done in 11 months. It's now an 18-month project. Each additional month, the delta between the 11 and the 18, just in consulting fees alone for our consulting companies, about $30,000. So now you're running about $240,000. Well, how could we have prevented an 18-month project versus 11? Well, we had the opportunity in 2022, right? We had made a contract to purchase 410 Center Avenue in Jim Thorpe, which would allow a temporary but complete removal of offices or relocation of court offices to 410 Center Avenue. So we could have accomplished it in one fell swoop versus by floor, by floor, by floor, which extended the project those 7 months. And again, remember, I'm only talking about $240,000 for what Boyle Construction and those working with them. I'm not talking about the general, the mechanical, the electrical, plumbing that also has increased costs when it comes to an expanded project due to the way this has to be phased because of a lack of foresight and vision when on 2 December, the Board of Commissioners retracted itself from a contractual obligation to purchase 410 Center Avenue. A building that could have been purchased, utilized even simply for this particular project and then resold if we didn't want to go forward with what could have been a consolidation of government offices in Jim Thorpe to further save the taxpayer money associated with decentralized government. Secondly, what's not included in this, because of a desire to unnecessarily relocate the clerk of court's office, what is not included in these numbers? $83,595 for a Rotomatic, right? Electronic device for filing. $70,400 for furniture that is actually not needed. This unnecessary relocation of the district attorney's office is actually costing the taxpayer, myself included, and everyone here, I suspect, $518,995 for an unnecessary move of the clerk of court's office. Now, I know some people will go back and say, but I recall that commissioners meeting where the DA complained about cramped office. And he stated, the actual courthouse remains cramped and his office can no longer function properly due to the lack of space. I can't continue to operate the district attorney's office sharing desks. Well, before then, and even up until today, an entire wing of the first floor of the courthouse remains vacant. And at least 2 office spaces, the former public defender spaces, remain fully and completely usable. Commissioner Lukasevich asked at that meeting in December, why, if the space is needed, did you never request to utilize the first floor office space? No one was prohibited from utilizing that space. So someone's going to make the argument here, well, the DA needs space and it's critical. It's a safety issue. It's some type of issue, right? Well, obviously it's not that big of an issue because even to this day, the DA hasn't done one thing to utilize space that was available to alleviate the problem that he alleges. But at the end of the day, our lack of vision and foresight is going to cost the taxpayer. The taxpayer is going to cost probably $1 million+ additional dollars because of the lack of foresight. Even if you consider what it would have cost to temporarily relocate court offices to 410 Center Avenue. That's all I have.
Again, not all the facts are being presented. If you recall, when that office was first vacated, when we made that move, I pursued trying to get things done to get an office moved immediately, and unfortunately, that never occurred. You bring up the school time and time again, and you fail to discuss the cost of renovating that building.
$6.3 million.
And the lack of parking for all those spaces, and you did not once go to those people in the surrounding neighborhood and talk about the parking issues. You always say about your long-term plans, but however, I'm not gonna bring it up today because when you look at your foresight and long-term planning, there are some serious issues facing us.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's go there. Well, let's talk about your persistent and continual political and personal attack against the clerk of courts, which drives you to this unnecessary move of that office, which is costing the taxpayer at least $500,000.
But what the taxpayers are not being told is that the people that are coming in to pay their fines currently have to go upstairs. So it's partially an issue with security and having people roam the building, as well as the district attorney's office having the courts are on the 2nd and 3rd floors. So where do we want to minimize the traffic throughout the courthouse? And you say I put a lot, make it a political issue with the clerk of courts. You're the one that constantly brings it up.
Well,
So-
because it's a clear observation going back all the way to 2019. And it continues to this day, and we'll continue to see it in this bidding action and activity that's taking place. Keep in mind, that courthouse, this building is a public building. There is no right to refuse anyone access. Right? There are, of course, always security issues that have to be considered, but it's a public office and the public should be able to be there. And if it means having to go up on the second floor to pay a bill, that's why we have an elevator, that's why we have stairs, and we know we have a 3-story building. So if it wasn't going up to pay the DA or to do something with the DA, it would be the clerk of courts or vice versa. Someone's gonna be going upstairs unless you have a 1-story building.
Any further discussion on?
I would like to make an alternate motion to this if I can.
Okay.
think we might need Tony to help us out with it a little bit. I mean, this is my idea, and I said, I think from the start, there's things, I mean, I went back to doing the air condition that people, you know, they wanted air infiltration, they wanted all this stuff. And I mean, according to calculations that we got from our financial advisor, there is enough money there. We're gonna be pretty close. We're only gonna out of that whatever the total will come to here, will probably be anywhere from 2 to maybe 400, 500,000. Exhausting our capital assets. And that's very important. I think we need to keep it within that range. So we will have enough money, and that's why I asked for the things for, I don't want change orders. I want it in here what we're getting. And if there's things that are not, and I know a lot of people are asking for things and we can't afford it. I'm not gonna overextend the budget, but I'm looking at if we would take the general without the alternate that Wayne suggested with the steps. Do we really need them? I don't know why we need them. I mean, there's always repairs that can be done. The mechanical would be with the alternate.
Well,
That would include the boilers. Am I
well,
correct
yeah,
on that?
let's just do one at a time. Okay.
Well, they're sort of all tied together because isn't the, when you do it with the electric, are there things in the electric? Yes, so if we do that, that electrical has to be tied to that, because if we would pass the one motion, it doesn't do you any good, because we won't have electric to the unit.
Correct.
So, we're gonna, I mean, it's like, we're gonna have to do the electric alternate. And then we have the plumbing. Is there any issue with the plumbing? I mean, the plumbing's not that, both bids aren't that. They're not that far apart.
No.
So we could accept the bid with the alternate. Do we need to do the alternate
For which one?
for the plumbing?
There is no alternate. One.
Oh, okay, well, then we just have to go with the bid with that,
Plumbing's clear.
okay.
No alternate.
Well, we'll just do one at a time. We're talking.
But what I just want to understand it is, it looks like it appears that somebody would get the bid, but through the alternates, that person would not. Am I correct on
That's 100% correct.
that? Okay,
On
so,
mechanical,
yeah,
on mechanical.
exactly. So what on the mechanical, but I said the electrical, I mean, we're gonna have to go whatever, whatever the
Okay.
lowest one is there.
I'll help you when you get there.
Yeah, and I look at it, instead of it being, they figured it was like $5,144,200 with the alternate. But if we take them steps off, we're close to $5,034,400. I mean, that's
Okay.
should be pretty close, and that's what, and like I said, we're gonna be, and I don't think, and I understand like where the budget thing is. But when we first started this, we actually had the ARP money involved in this too. And I don't want to tell you that we do have some money to fall back on, but, and I know you, or where my issue is. I don't like change orders. I want to make sure that it's in the blueprint, and this is what we're gonna get when this job is complete. I see everybody's concern, and I don't need another $500,000 on top of it. There is contingency in it, use the contingency very lightly. I mean, just because it says 300,000, we don't have to use 300,000.
Well, we're gonna, as you suggested at the last meeting, any allowance money used comes through Ellie to this board before it's spent.
Yeah, and that's.
I'm
what
crystal, I'm
we-
crystal clear on that.
Yeah, we approved that at the last meeting. That was my suggestion. I think the public got to see what we're spending.
Not a problem.
And I actually wanted to explain to me in person, you know, we've been doing a lot through emails or just pass bys and we've been doing it. I think
Not a problem.
We have to change that. Okay, all right, I'm ready, whatever.
We need a motion on the general construction, either with the alternate or without.
I think my motion was without.
Oh,
If he wants to change that.
no, I'll, because that only involves the step. So I will second that motion.
Okay, Mr. Honor,
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich.
No.
Mr. Notstein.
Yes,
Okay. The next contract is the mechanical construction. We have two bidders listed. The first one is Michael Mechanical. Their bid without the alternate is $1,669,000. Their alternate bid is $2,065,000. JV Mechanical without the alternate, $1,703,000. With the alternate, $2,020,000.
I will make the motion to, whether to award it to JBM would be the lowest bid, correct, right now?
With the alternate.
With the alternate, yes, with the alternate. Okay, I'll make that motion.
second,
Mr. Honor,
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich.
No.
Mr. Notstein.
yes,
Next contract is plumbing. KC Mechanical. Total amount bid $447,000. There are no alternates for this contract.
I'll make the motion, Todd.
second,
Mr. Honor.
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich.
No.
Mr. Notstein.
yes,
Electrical. J.R. Nato Electrical. Total amount bid without alternates. $1,077,500. With alternates. $1,072,500.
Just look at this a minute.
When it's appropriate for me to talk, I will.
And
if you have quite.
Well,
He has a question.
yeah, like my. I always looked at this, I mean, I see like there's ceiling trays and everything else that are in here. Is that necessary? I think, I
Oh,
mean,
it's a minus.
It's a-
yeah, and that's what I mean, that's what I think I'm looking at,
Take it.
that. I've seen it, that it, to me, it's better running it on the wall instead of all of them be mixed in a tray.
Exactly.
So,
Use the tray, go with the trays.
yes, we'll go with that, but there will be a deduction.
Correct.
Okay, that's
So,
what we're
yeah,
looking
Just one more comment, sorry.
for. Okay,
Since you went with the alternate for the boilers, you need to go with the alternate. So my suggestion to you would be to go with those alternates.
okay, I will make the motion to go with the older for the electrical.
Second,
Mr. Honor,
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich.
No.
Mr. Notstein.
yes,
Yes, I'm sorry, one more thing before I go. We will now, based on these awards, be issuing letters of intent tomorrow. They're already prepared to go out the door tomorrow. We'll work on contracts and work with Bob and Ellie on the contracts and the bonding. Get it ready.
We just have to have a better communication, I think, between everybody.
We will.
It'll go much smoother.
Okay, our next item is children and youth. For approval and execution, the fiscal year 2023-2024. Purchase and service agreement with Diversified Treatment Alternative Centers LLC of Milton, Pennsylvania. As per the attached rates.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Communications 911 for approval and execution. A full service maintenance agreement with Printastat Incorporated of York, Pennsylvania to extend the warranty on a recently purchased HD Design Jet printer for 1 year at $869.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Two-way mobile for approval and execution. Request was received from the Communications Director enclosing a proposal from Two-Way Communications Incorporated of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania to purchase, to purchase Vesta Solutions hardware, software, and install and two-way communication services to upgrade the Vesta 911 phone system at a cost of $440,219.91. This is CoStar's numbers 12-E22-241.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Correctional facility. For approval and execution, an agreement with Van Cleef Engineering Associates of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. To provide a feasibility study relative to the pump house located at the correctional facility. At a cost not to exceed $2,500 without prior written authorization.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Fire pump for approval and execution agreement with Johnson Controls Fire Protection of Allentown, Pennsylvania. For the annual fire pump safety inspections and preventative maintenance agreement. Located in the pump house at the correctional facility. For a total cost of $2,668 annually. For the term of September 1, 2023 through August 31, 2024. Under PA contract 4400023962, this represents no increase.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
In lieu of taxes. Distribution of $20,357.59. From, of the check from City of Bethlehem to the school districts and townships. Representing payment in lieu of taxes for 2023 on property owned by Bethlehem Water Authority. To the municipalities and school districts in the county at the amounts as listed.
Move to approve the distribution.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Juvenile Court for approval and execution, the award of funding in the amount of $69,300 for fiscal year 2023-2024. Juvenile Probation Services Grant for salary reimbursement of the Juvenile Court Office for the term of July 1, 2023 to June 30th, 2024.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
A maintenance agreement for approval and execution, a maintenance agreement with Edwards Business Systems of Wyomissing, Pennsylvania. For one copier and printer and one copier for two copiers and printer located in the Recorder of Deeds office. At the rate of 0.01236 for black and white and 0.06624 for color. Billed quarterly. Maintenance will be fixed for the first 3 years with a 5% increase each year after.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Planning and Development. For approval and execution. Authorize the Office of Planning and Development to solicit proposals. For professional planning services to update the existing 2023 Carbon County Comprehensive Greenway Plan. Trail and Open Space Plan.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Professional services for ratification. Acceptance of the proposal received from Person Agency for appraisal of property located off of Center Avenue, Jim Thorpe, PRC number 8382-17-K4 at a cost of $325. This is the only property.
Move to the route.
I'll second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yeah,
The solicitors report.
Thank you.
At the train station, the county received a banner request for approval and execution for the Jim Thorpe Tourism Agency. For the Welcome to Fall Foliage Festival, the banner to be displayed September 17th through November 4th of 2023.
Move to approve and execute.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notestein?
Yes,
Also for approval and execution for the Weatherly Hill Climb on September 16 and 17, 2023. The banner to be displayed September 1st through September 18th, 2023.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notestein?
yes,
Under Children and Youth for approval and execution of a consultant agreement between the County of Carbon, Children and Youth, and Gail Merrick of Nesquehoning, Pennsylvania, to provide administrative assistance, training, and fiscal services to the Children and Youth Services Department at a rate of $30 per hour. The term of the agreement will be August 10, 2023 until August 10, 2024, unless terminated by either party upon 20 days advance written notice.
Move to adopt.
Second,
Mr. Honor?
yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notestein?
yes,
For the community's traffic safety project for approval and execution of a resolution authorizing the chairman of the Board of Commissioners to execute the agreement with Pennsylvania Department of Transportation District 50 to provide the highway safety network access to the DOT programs for the community traffic safety project.
Motion, second. No.
Your choice. Your choice.
I'll third it. How's that?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notestein?
yes,
And related for approval and execution, the agreement with the Highway Safety Network Incorporated of Pottsville, Pennsylvania, to prepare an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for the District 50 Community Traffic Safety Project. The
motion
agreement-
to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notestein?
Yes,
It just shows it's a pre-plan.
All the editor. That's you, Jen. Worker protection and investment certification form for approval and execution of Executive Order 2021, 6 of 2021. The worker protection and investment certification form as required for the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for the District 50 Community Traffic Safety Project.
Want to take a whack at it again?
Talk fast, I'll make the motion.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notestein?
yes,
Under the courts for approval and execution of a contract with Angela C. Seleni of Kingston, Pennsylvania, a court reporter establishing per diem court reporting services for stenographic services for the Court of Common Pleas on an as needed basis as listed.
I'll second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notestein?
yeah,
For Lanta, you don't do this to Ellie. Lanta, for approval and execution of an agreement with Lanta to provide shuttle service on Saturdays and Sundays during the month of October 2023 during the hours of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. This agreement will provide shuttle service from the park to the Opera House and return in order to alleviate traffic congestion and provide for additional parking during the Fall Foliage Festival. Lanta will calculate the revenue generated by these added trips throughout the term of the agreement. And if it totals less than the revenue guaranteed by the county, Lanta will then invoice the county for the difference. Guaranteed revenue to Lanta is $12,161.28. And the term of the agreement is October 7th through October 29th of 2023.
Move to approve this.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yeah.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notestein?
yes,
And finally, for 44 Susquehanna Street, for acceptance of a proposal from the service team of Lehighton, Pennsylvania for repairs to the 44 Susquehanna Street building caused by water damage in the amount of $9,137 with an option to add prime and paint for an additional $4,640 for a total cost of $13,777. If additional ceiling tiles are needed, the total cost will increase by $170 per box.
Motion is,
Second.
Mr. Honor?
yes.
Mr. Savage?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes,
I'm finished.
Any further business?
on the further business, Railroad Commission meeting, scheduled for Tuesday, the 22nd at 1:30 has been canceled.
Commissioners reports, Mr. Honor?
I'm gonna try to keep a little brief. I guess Bob gotta get out of here, but
We do have another meeting.
I'm just going on to it, like what was at the ag meeting, there was no media there, but I think I did send anything, there are vouchers left for the food, that goes through the agency, area agency. And before there was, 4 for $5, now the total has gone up, that it's actually $50 total, that they're getting, and there are some left. It's at the Weatherly Senior Center, Panther Valley Senior Center, and at the area agency in Palmer that they can get them. At the conference that we went to, and even some things that I picked up there, our food bank meeting in Nazareth on Monday. I'd like to get some of these farmers involved in it. There's a farmer that's in Lehighton that's donating his produce to Lehighton. And there's federal programs out there that they can get paid for. I mean, they work hard enough for so as it is, and I know they all have good hearts, but they can get paid for what they want. So this is a federal program that comes through, and I think it's good until like the end of next summer. So I'd like to contact some of the area farmers, and I did give it to them at the ag meeting last night, that they get it out to local farmers that they can get paid for it instead of throwing produce away. Donate it, then they'll get paid for it. All they gotta do is invoice, and within 2 weeks they'll have their money. I think I have pretty much of that. I'll say this a little bit. One of the other things, and I said, I did find a lot of things at our conference that we were at. And one of the things, and everybody's been complaining about how we can hire people or how we can do this. And I found out civil service, we don't have to fill in with the civil service. There's other ways. There's a merit system that is actually in 20 counties within Pennsylvania. It gives the county a little bit more leverage on hiring the people. And I mean, it's another route that implements and has control over recruiting, hiring, and maintaining employees. The process does require HR knowledge and skill to ensure children use staff are reimbursed eligible by 80%. But the system is sort of like the same. But some of these, like, and I've talked to children, youth, and aging, and we always had a problem, but we lose people all the time because the process takes so long. We could cut the process down probably in half. I mean, from days or from weeks to hiring somebody, and we're losing a lot of good people because the process takes so long. If we come to the county, and like I said, this was given to me by the CCAP president and by the director of CCAP. And they're all in line. They're trying to do some of this. And some of the counties, it's Berks, Bucks. All of these counties that are around us, Northampton, all of these counties, Lancaster County, they're using this. And this is sort of like one of the comments that I know Jill is not here. And I think you should interview aging and, get their view on it. But this is one of the situations that we were in. The county wanted to hire a program specialist. This is a quality assurance position and helps with training and educating staff on regulations and procedures. Our clerk typist had 6 years experience here at Children and Youth, 20 years experience in risk management and healthcare. Civil Service said she did not have the experience to qualify for quality insurance. They had 9 other applicants that were not eligible for the position. The county was ineligible to fill the position, and the state removed it from our complement. And I have faith in our directors that we have. And if they're telling me that we need some of these things, and we're losing out on tremendous people, we always talk about the salaries, and we're not, we have somebody that they got to wait a month or 2 months for a job. We are losing the good people to come here. So, I mean, I would say, contact Sue and Jill and see what you can do. And like I said, I sent the policy already to HR. I connected them with 2 people that when they go to their conference, there's 2 people that are taking care of this at the state. And what they'll have to do, they're going to have to research it, how it goes into the budget, what we're gonna have to do before it's implemented. But all these other 20 counties are tickle pink over it. And I said, we sit here, I mean, ever since I've been on the board, we've been complaining about civil service, that it's hard to get hired. And most of the civil service tests that you're taking have nothing pertaining to the job that you're being hired for. So if they have a bad test score, what do? You send a good person down the road, and we got to step sending the good people down the road. And that's all in my report.
Mr. Lukasevich? Anything else, time?
Yeah, just real quick, we will have a presentation next week from Pocono Mountain Vacation Bureau. And I also, and I, you know, we had talked about this before. It's not as easy as, you know, you think it's a process, you have to
Well,
do some planning.
Yeah,
you
most
have to
like-
write some,
yeah, like Franklin and Nick, well, there's the policy, that's a template for everybody,
Yeah.
so. And that's what mostly all of them are doing, and the process does take approximately 2 years.
you know,
So if we would get into it and try to get, you know, what it's gonna cost, but I mean, I think it's a little too late to get into the budget this year. But that might be something that we can get in, that we can get something done in the next couple of years. And our departments can actually run themselves instead of, you know, and it's still all state regulated, you know, they have to have a bachelor's for a certain job, you know, it's not like we're bypassing anything. It's just that we're streamlining the position a little bit, that we can hire people a little bit faster than later. Or if not at all. But it is approximately a 2-year process. That, I think Franklin County was the last one. I'm not sure if they were the ones that went in, but it was a 2-year process for them.
one last thing, before we adjourn, I wanna offer my condolences to the Bruce Wolf family, former Fire Chief Franklin Township Fire Company. Passed away in illness, 50 years of service to the community, and offer condolences not only to these. Okay. Anyway, offer the, never mind, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't wanna say my word, but my condolences to the Franklin Township Fire Company, services will be held Tuesday, and it will be big, I'm sure. Plans are still in the making. They moved the services to the Franklin Fire Company. They have expect a huge turnout. The story I got last night, and 9 to 12 viewing, and services at 12, and that's why we canceled. I know Rocky and I are both going to services because we know Bruce for a long time. So it's a big loss. We just honored Bruce and another person in June for 50 years of service. He actually didn't obtain that until this past week, I think it was. They'll call back if they want. But no, my condolences to the family. So there will be more information coming out shortly on that. So, okay, meeting adjourned. We do have another meeting today. Any questions needed in those meetings before we go into the retirement board?
Yeah, no, I haven't. I brought it with you.
Okay, nothing for now.
Quick question, the human sludge farming issue, will that be on next week's agenda or?
Well, I think Chris explained a little bit. I think we're just gonna have to research a little bit what the wording is,
Yeah.
if it suits us, and I think our attorney advises that. Is it that we don't get sued maybe over the.
Also, the resolution that was presented to us was more geared toward the municipalities, the townships and the boroughs, so it'll just require some.
We can alter a little bit that it's
changes.
county oriented, you know what I mean, like.
I'd say 2 weeks at
Yeah,
most.
yeah.
2 weeks back and
Certainly, yeah.
forth with the wording until we're satisfied.
If the Polycom rings again, please do not hang up on them.
Answer.
Yes.
Would they call rec?
No, they're calling into the commissioner's office.
Yeah, for the, well, this meeting.
I didn't know it being transferred in.
Answer them, we'll take Amy's questions. Are you done, Rachel?
Sorry, really quick.
Yeah, 1 minute, please. Hang on 1 minute. Go ahead, Rachel.
Sorry, really quick. Chris, you voted no on the bids, and I just want to make sure that I understand why. Can you kind of explain a little bit?
I'll explain again if you want, but primarily, we're actually burdening the taxpayer with probably about ballpark about $1 million of unnecessary expenditure due to two actions. One, the failure to secure 410 Center Avenue and utilize that so we could do construction in one fell swoop, right? Empty the courthouse and do it in 11 months versus having to extend it into phases, and the time period goes out to 18 months, which again significantly increases the cost. The second is the unnecessary move of the clerk of courts down to the first floor.
Okay, so then I guess that's my real question is, what would you rather happen? Just not move or not move the clerk of courts?
Oh, absolutely. That has been my position from day one. I've argued that point many times.
I want to point out real quick, because we do have a retirement board meeting. We did make some changes in that office that cost us more money, removing a wall, putting in a window to suit the clerk of courts that wanted to move in there. It's back and forth. I don't know how much time Rocky spent on the electors or the filing system, etc. We did make concessions. We did work with the clerk of courts on that move. And then, when you talk about the cost savings and everything, but let's look at the mechanical contracts, etc., and replacing the boiler, the electrical system, and all those systems. This building is over 100 years old. It is not built for today's technology. The generator has to be replaced. The wiring is being replaced. There's a lot of money that has to be invested in that courthouse now. It's inconvenient, it's costing more because of and another reason that the room was left vacant now, as much as I pushed to get that person moved immediately, now that we have, are getting into this contracts here, we need space to do it in steps. First floor, second floor, third floor, etc., so that we can get first floor done, temporarily put people in that building or other areas, and be able to accommodate them and keep working. It's going to cost us more that way because we can't do everything at one time. We're going to phase it in, after hour work, weekend work, etc. is one of the reasons, or part of the reasons, that the expense is that high. So like to talk more, but we do have somebody on hold here and we're holding up another meeting. Okay? Any other questions?
Feel free to come and talk to me offline if you want. I'm always available.
Yeah, and make sure you talk to me as well, because there's two sides to every story. Okay? Okay. Amy, real quick. Yep.
Just how many departments go to the civil service for hiring now?
We have one at EMA, aging, and children and youth. But yeah, there's only one person, EMA, the administrative assistant has to be civil service in order, and I don't know if we can change that to merit because of the funding source. It comes federal, so they I have to double check on that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
the one at EMA might be tricky.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, sorry, let's call the meeting. Okay, I'm sorry, for putting you on hold. I'm sorry for disconnecting you. We were still in our business meeting, so I didn't realize you were gonna be calling us with Ms. Rifle. Okay? Yeah.
Listen.
Okay.
You ready? Oh, he's so excited.
Okay, I'll now call the retirement board meeting to order, and I'll turn the meeting over to our secretary, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Way to clear the room, right? So first, we'll start with a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes held July 20th of 2023.
Motion approved. Second.
Mr. Zelinka,
Yes.
Mrs. Faircheck, yes. Mr. Arner,
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich.
Yes.
Mr. Notstein.
Yes.
Thank you. Any guests concerning retirement board business? We do have two of our providers here. Sarah Wilson of Marquette will speak later about the results of the second quarter, and then we'll also have a representative from our actuary joining by phone, David Reichert from Korn Ferry. Next, we'll do reports of executive sessions, none were held. The next thing we'll seek to get a motion to ratify the warrant for checks number 40955 to 40966 and direct deposit 7022779 to 7023186 for the month of July.
Motion to ratify.
Mr. Zelinka,
Yes.
Mr. Svercek, yes, Mr. Honor.
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich.
Yes.
Mr. Notstein.
Yes,
Thank you. Next is the retirement activity report for the month of July. We had 3 retirement refunds. 3 superannuation retirements. I always like to recognize those folks retiring or moving on with their service to the county, a total of 22 years of service. I thank them for their service. And we have 1 retiree pass. I'd like to express on behalf of the retirement board condolences to Mrs. Serzak's family. The monthly benefits for the month of July totaled $481,577.79. Option 4, $76,008.65. And refunds of $10,438.68 for total disbursement for the month of July of $568,025.12, leaving a portfolio value as of July 31st of $86,121,924.67. And as of last Friday, August 11th, the fund did drop somewhat to $84,474,784. Sarah, in a few minutes, will tell us about June 30th, which was $84,093,335. So we're still ahead of June 30th. So next, we're going to bring on David Reichert from the County Pension Funds Actuary at Corn Ferry. And he's going to talk about the necessity of doing an amendment to our plan because of the Secure Act that was passed nationally, which affects the required minimum distribution, also known as RMDs. So I asked David to join us by phone if anyone has any questions. David, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Thank you very much for having me, and I apologize for not being ideal for the yes, allowing me to call in on this.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know how much you know about the required minimum distribution. These changes are on a national level. They affect all retirement plans, and that includes IRAs and defined contribution plans. So a lot of the terminology in the amendments are geared more towards IRAs and plans than they are to be plans. So do you want me to go through and just give a highlight of what changes they are?
Yeah, I think a highlight, David. I think the main thing is the increase of the ages, I think is the key point for everyone to understand from the act, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And that's really the only thing that's changing is that the Secure Act that was passed changed the age from 70.5 to 72, and that went into effect in 2019. And then the past year, that age went from 72 to 73, and then I believe in 2003, it's going to require the minimum distribution to start at age 75. And so really what these amendments are to make sure that you have the paperwork with that it's just basically that you're up to date with the national requirement.
Right, so the amendment will get our plan in compliance with the recent act that was passed nationally. Is that right, David?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And David had provided a resolution that I circulated to the board if we're going to adopt this today, the remaining compliance with the changes in the law. Any questions?
It's my understanding, we would have to do this by 2027, but there's no reason to put it off, but this just applies to the so-called lost members that don't make an affirmative declaration at the time of retirement, so it kind of makes it automatic, I think.
Well, I guess you would say the ones choosing option 4, where they're rolling over part of their retirement, when he or she would reach those mandatory ages without, I think, this being enacted, might cause confusion.
Yeah.
As well as what they're doing.
And these rules are being implemented currently, so, it's, these amendments, even though they don't have the amendments approved, and, I heard someone say, you're not really required until 2027, that's correct. But in a practical, sense, you've already adopted. Because we are implementing them. It's just that by tracking it on the retirement board side, you have it in writing that you acknowledge that. So, we are required to, implement. It's just that, now these amendments have it in paper now.
Any other questions for David? I would make the motion to approve that resolution for adoption. Mr. Zelinka?
Yes.
Mr. Spurcheck, yes. Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, David, for joining us.
All right, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Next would be the solicitor's report.
No report.
All right, then we'll move to Sarah Wilson from Marquette to give us the June 30th, 2023 investment update.
Morning, almost afternoon.
Feels like it.
Well, I mean, this is like the third meeting I've been in, everybody's like TikTok, and the last one, clear out a room. So, I will try as fast as possible. Let's go to page 10. We're gonna go to the second section. And we're just talk a little bit about the US economy. So we can understand what happened in this second quarter for performance. So we look at GDP is growing at an annual rate of 2.4, while consumer spending was down. Last quarter, we've actually seen consumer spending go back up. So we've actually seen that we expected the consumer price index was 3.2 in July compared to 3% in June. So we've seen a little bit of an uptick there. When we look at that, we also go and look at what's interesting is on page 11, you look at the US economy, household debt service payments. This is interesting. We have seen an unappreciated heading into the tightening cycle and household debt service payments as percentage of disposable personal income is well below its average since 1980s. So what we have seen is what has happened is when we look at, we see all these rising rates, we go look at where inflation is. We know that that's trying to come down. Meanwhile, food and we see gas and prices going up, that the consumer, 67% of their mortgages, consumers has been shielded from the high interest rates. You might say, how's that happen? Because they all took 30-year mortgages out at almost next to nothing. What we are going to see is we're going to see a change. So everybody took this out at 67% seemed good. We go looking forward, and when we go look at that savings, and what's happening though is with rising interest rates, everybody who took home equity loans or took, credit line, we know those are adjustable. We also know that it's now credit cards can charge 29%. I mean, back in the day, you would sit there and say, there's no way they can do that, but that's the rate that they're doing, the APR. So we look at what's happening with all these interest rates. So eventually that's going to catch up with the consumer and they're going to end up having to pay more out of pocket. I think what's interesting, and this is gonna go talk a little bit about your performance when we look at small cap companies. Look at what that below on there is year to date through April, rest of the year. We look at US bankruptcy filings. Higher rates and tightening lending standards are likely impacting small corporations. So those small cap companies are gonna have a little bit of a hard time. Because those companies, when we see a small and mid cap company, how do they grow to be a large cap? They borrow, they do that. Well, with that, they have had the highest bankruptcy filings in the first 4 months of 2023. So we're starting to see this interest rate hike coming back in, and we're gonna see it within the market. And that's, as Mark said, we were a little bit down last week. We have seen back-to-back losses with S&P for the last couple days. Let's turn the page and we'll look at the global economy forecast. And I think this is important because we know we are now a global economy. I think two interesting things here is we look at the economic growth forecast. That's page 12. Look at where Japan and China are compared to the Eurozone. So we've really seen that go down. And I think the Chinese inflation data, I thought this was an interesting thing. We know GDP grew 6.3% a year earlier through June. Most analysts expected a growth of slightly 7%. Remember, Japan came out of that COVID, then they had another lockdown. And usually when we see, the economy go back, we see an increase. I thought what was most interesting, and you would never hear this in the United States, the overall unemployment rate meanwhile remained stable in June, but rose to a new record of 21.3 for people the age of 16 to 24. We don't really look at that data, kind of statistic within here, domestic. So we talk about what happened, and we go look at page 13. We talk about what's happened with our asset classes. We know there was a huge rally. We look at US equities did 8.4 for the quarter. For the trailing 12 months, they did 19%. Emerging markets only did about 0.9. US bonds, yet again, fixed income is now in negative territory for the quarter. And we talk about that and we look at that, and that's one of the reasons why we're going to do some education on looking at diversifying and de-risking. You have to have fixed income in your portfolio. Their commodities are down, and when we look at that there, let's turn to, and I just want to mention, we're going to talk a little bit about real estate. Real estate was really solid for you last year. Remember, they kind of readjusted in COVID. We saw them there. What happened last year with real estate is when we talked about this, when we looked at the banking, remember Silicon Bank and what happened in the banking crisis, everybody said, I want my money out. Well, they wanted their money out from investments that were positive last year. Real estate wasn't positive. What happened was everybody thought, as managers, you got to make those pension payments, or you're going to take some of your winnings off the table. Real estate had a tremendous amount of outflows last year, the managers in the last 12 months. Successful, you take some of that out. Then what happened is now that they've had these outflows, when they're getting inflows, they've also got to go and buy more property, because that's how real estate makes its money, on those rentals. Real estate is also taking a shift. This is commercial, which we know that we thought that offices were going to fill up. They're still not filling up. This work from home has become much more evident in the next, and we're going to see it continue. And what they have been doing is they're starting to go into retail. People are out shopping again. They're not going into malls. They're doing like the strip malls and everything. So we've seen kind of the shift in this. So we've got interest rates that are at an all-time high. And we also, for the last 10, 15 years, we also have, with that, they're going to have to go out. So it's harder to borrow money. So real estate has been in the negative. We can turn the page, we look at page 14. This is something, is remember, and this has really done well for you in the past. We have a value tilt. Growth is outperforming this year again. When we look at that, though, we also have to remember that there are 7 stocks leading the S&P 500. 7 stocks are what are making up the market, a majority of that. You're not gonna hold just 7
As
stocks.
you mentioned those, I think we have about 5 of them in our.
You've got them
portfolio.
all. 2 of the Apples, you've got the Facebook, the Amazon, the Google, Telsa. And there's one other, Meta, which is Facebook, so there's 2 shares of those. What has happened is you've got exposure to those. When we talk about large cap, we've always said that you used to have an individual large cap manager. It's very hard for a large cap manager to outperform the S&P 500 and justify its cost. So you've had the index, so you still have exposure to that. We like the small and mid cap there. So 7 stocks account for 60% of the S&P 500 year to date return. The outperformance of these stocks are mostly mega caps, have driven the 6-month price return of the NASDAQ 100 relative to the broad market to its second highest level over the past 15 years. So when we look at how that's going, when we look at what does that mean, we go to page 15 and we look below. So what has, according to the 10 largest stocks in the US, underperformed the broad market by an average of 1.5%. So while they're raising, moving the market right now, long term, that doesn't mean it. Currently, the 10 largest stocks in the S&P index comprise of 31% of the index, but have contributed only 20.1% of growth to the index. So it's almost like everybody wants those stocks. They'll go out, they'll get them, they're moving this market, but basically the market's flat. It's one of the reasons why you made a lot of diversification changes over the past couple of years, because you're going to keep seeing this. And when we go look at it, here's what the Fed's got an interesting thing. They thought they were going to kind of keep it there. We know we have 25 basis points. It's the highest Fed going up in 22 years, that rate. Fed sat there and they thought, the market said, okay, the Fed's going to kind of hold off the rest of this year. When the news came out and we saw some of those notes in the last couple of days, the Fed's sitting there saying inflation is still an issue. With inflation, even though it has dropped dramatically from that 9% down to the 3%, they like that 2%. What we're seeing is that there could be another Fed hike. The market, when the Fed came out, said next year they think possibly one more Fed hike. And then for the next 7 meetings, they're going to lower it a quarter. So we're going to go with a spike up and we're going to go then start going down. This has become a volatile market for fixed income. 10-year treasury hit an all-time high since 2008 this year. What you're doing is managers are saying, okay, so if I know they're going to start lowering rates, do I lock into a long-term right now at 5% bond? What do I do with everything that I'm holding at 3%? I'm going to have to liquidate those, so I have money to go buy a higher interest bearing bond. So it's become a very difficult market for fixed income. Do we have any questions on the market? All right, let's go and talk to what you've done. So we go to page 22. And the market value at the end of June was 84.1. For the first quarter, you returned 3.5 with a net investment gain of 2.9. For the year to date, you had a net investment gain of 8.1 with a net investment gain of 6.5. I think this is a great number and says a lot because you have done so much work in the last 3 years. For the trailing 3 years, I remember this is 2020, looking at that market, it's looking at a double-digit market of last year. You annualized return of 8.1 with a net investment gain of 19.9 million, and that is net of all your fees. So that has really talked about some of the things that you've done. We look at active managers, Dodge and Cox, MFS, and Harding Lover outperformed, and then we've had underperformance, and we're going to talk a little bit about Artisan. And then the equity managers, GWK. We like them. They're small cap. They're back this quarter. They had exposure to the Silicon Valley Bank. They also overweighted a little bit in healthcare. We're very, very comfortable with them as a manager. And then I think the last meeting, the day before I got here, I was on the drive out here. We replaced non-US equity manager Wellington. They had changed in the performance team and the portfolio team. Their performance was not fitting where we wanted it to fit. And we looked at the overall fundamentals and we got rid of them. That was one of the things about being OCIO. Every week we're looking at these managers. And we replace them with the Fidelity Emerging Markets Index until we find a manager that's worth putting in there and fitting there. Just so you know, you've got a low portfolio expense ratio of 33 basis points with all your diversification. Looking ahead, we're going to do the education on defensive equity and then your asset allocation. Let's turn all the way to page 40. Are there any questions so far? I think that's pretty fast on this. Okay, so let's go look at your US equity composite. That's page 40. We'll look at GWK small mid cap. In the last 3 years, they have annualized 12.1. They're a little bit off their bench. And they are coming back quarter to date. They're 1.5 versus 1.51. We don't have an issue. Remember I said small mid cap, you know, they've had a little bit of a struggle. That's part of the market that's had struggle, but we like that market. I want to talk a little bit about Dodge and Cox. I mean, your global equity managers, Dodge and Cox, 10.9 versus 4.3. Since we put them in May 2020, remember that's when you went OCIO, they've annualized 18.3 versus 11.9. Some great performance there. And we see them, they do very, very well enough. They'll be a little bit off in the down. MFS, low volatility you had since September 2015. You've annualized 8.1 versus 7.3. Then we get to Artisan Global. And I have to tell you, all of us consultants have been on the phone about this almost daily to the OCIO committee. We have gone through everything. Artisan's portfolio management team is actually coming into Chicago and we are going to sit down. And remember, to get on board with OCIO and on this platform, they do an 18 to 24 month due diligence. We're not just going to throw out a manager. Wellington, we did. It didn't fit. Artisan and any global fund that looks like a large cap growth fund right now globally, if we took all the ones that we do research on, and last year we researched and did 3,000 manager meetings, our research team. There's really nobody else that's fitting that. They all look like this performance right now. It's just a part of their style that is underperforming. So they will be in an 8:30. Obviously, everyone, I will be on that call. We look at what they've done. Year to date, though, they've still done 15.4%. It's fine. It's just what they look like against their benchmark that is really a little bit concerning. So when you look at it, you know, I always say you don't want to always just compare somebody against their benchmark, but we've seen consistently, you know, some underperformance. We're on it. We still actually like them a lot. The portfolio team is in place and I will keep you posted on that. Remember, we can move at any time there. When we look at your non-US equity, Harding and Lover's done a nice job year to date, 7.5. Schroders has done 7.8 there. We look at your prime real estate. So while the market has been down, Morgan Stanley has done very well for you. We've changed over the distributions come out to cash. We're no longer reinvesting those dividends. And the reason for that, and we want cash distribution, is because of how much you've got going out in benefits. So anything we can do. And if you look at their year to date, they're only down 3.5 versus down 6.1. We have done that. And then since you've put them in, they've annualized 6.8. That's exactly what we said they were going to do, 5 to 7%. we funded, remember, half of this from fixed income. We look at infrastructure, year to date's done 5.2 versus 4.3. And then we know that they've done, the global infrastructure came in January 5.2. We made some changes with infrastructure there, and we've done IMF global infrastructure. Let's turn the page and we'll finish up with US fixed income. I think this says a lot for US fixed income when we go look at CS McKee has been in since July 2009. It's annualized 2.2%. That's where fixed is getting you right now. That is why we keep on diversifying. They were down -0.4 versus -0.8. So obviously protection there, year to date 2.3 versus 2.1. And then we put in last year, we put in the Baird 4+ fund, and that has done very well for you. Year to date 2.6. And 1 year you can see that the market was down -0.90 and you were actually positive 0.50. So you've got some nice performance. We've de-risked the portfolio. We're going to talk about a little bit how we can keep de-risking the portfolio. Because remember, this is very long term when you look at this pension fund and that obligation for that. So are there any questions?
Thank you, Sarah. Just a quick comment or observation from me. I think on page 22 with your observations, it's all the more notable with the county pension funds return of 8.1% and a gain of 19.9 million over 3 years, when you think that we pay out about 500,000 a month on average, 6 million a year. It's still quite a nice return.
Well, I think when you look at that too, I think the way that we do give increases once in a while, and I think it stabilizes it. It isn't really, we can give raises once in a while to the retired.
Well, Rocky, that's a good point. Speaking about the COLA at the controllers conference recently, I'm not sure if it came up at the commissioners. The legislative committee from the Controllers Association, they're working with the legislators that if they adjust the law, that we can give a partial COLA. So when the COLA was 8 or 9%, we were locked into having to give that if we granted it, which is ongoing. Versus saying, well, we could afford 2%. So I hope that we were all hoping that would pass, enable the counties more leeway to grant a partial COLA.
Everybody always looked at it, if we give more money out, we're going to drive the well up. And in this
Right.
case, it hasn't been, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not,
And all of our retirees are getting Social Security. So last year when they got that large COLA, some were contacting us, well, is the county giving me a 8.5% COLA?
no,
And they can't do it because couldn't afford it. Thank you. Okay, any other questions for Sarah? No, thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Anything under new business? Anything under old business? Anything other further business? Hearing none, Mr. Chairman? Did you return?
Being no new video, I guess we don't have to ask.
I feel it out of here.
I don't know what clear.
Good job.
Yeah, it's super neat.